can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
I can tell you about what I did in Hawaii that you would really want to do.
Yeah, what you did?
I went to the top of Haleakala.
Okay, then. Haleakala. Is that a volcano,
Haleakala.
I'm assuming?
It is a dormant volcano. It's one of the oldest. It's on Maui. It is the highest elevation. It's 10,023 feet.
Oh, I've never been, I didn't go up there, but we went to the base of it before you summit it, or you can go up it or whatever. Yeah,
Now,
we went
you
to
can
the
drive
bottom.
all the way to the top.
Yeah, we didn't go to the top of it.
It's the crater itself looks like Mars. It's like
Oh, that's cool.
nothing of this earth. And there's this one plant, and it's the only place on the planet that it grows, and it's silver. It looks like something out of Star Trek.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we didn't go all the way to the summit. We stayed 23 feet down and watched the sunset above the cloud,
Okay.
which was interesting. All these pictures are on Facebook. And then after the sunset, the lady that took us up there, it was a private excursion. There was just 4 of us. And she brought us chili and hot chocolate and stuff because we had to stop about halfway up and change into warm clothes because it was freezing. And she had parkas for us and stuff. It's crazy. You're in Hawaii and you're wearing long pants and parkas.
Yep.
And so after we ate and it got dark, it's one of the darkest type places in the world. I can't remember. They grade it by numbers, and this is a 2, but they're petitioning to be a number 1 as far as no light. And she pulled a gigantic telescope out of the back of her van, and we started looking. At first, you could see the Milky Way with the naked eye. You didn't even need a telescope.
Yep. No light bleed.
Yeah, It was crazy. And then she would be like, and that's Andromeda. And then she would let us look in the telescope, and there it was. And then she'd go, and that's Saturn. And we'd look in the telescope, and you could see the rings. I mean, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Dennis was like, at times, just crying.
Yeah.
Just blew him away emotionally. And then after we put the telescope up and finished, we were up there about 5 or 6 hours. We drove up to the summit, and she took a picture of us in the lookout tower up there with the sign and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we went home. Went back to the boat. Or to drive up and an hour to drive down. And there's no street lights. So it's like, we were like, ooh.
And let's be careful. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was crazy.
We went to the top of the volcano, and then we drove off of it. Yes. Okay, don't do that. No.
But Dennis got plenty of pictures of those plants. They look spiny. They're silver. And they only bloom. It takes 8 years, or no, it takes maybe 20 years for them to bloom. And when they bloom, they die. And that's it.
I loved Maui. I thought Maui was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I thought it was. And when I went back in the day, that was before the fire of Lahaina and all that sort of stuff too. But we went diving off, I think Molokini, is that
that crater?
The crater island that's out there? Yeah.
My favorite place was Kauai, which is the oldest island. Yeah. But it doesn't look black anymore because it's so old that all of the lava has turned to dirt pretty much. Whereas if you're on Kona or Maui, you still see black rocks and stuff. It depends on the age of the island you're on because it eventually turns to soil. And we went up on, I think it was on Hilo. Isn't Hilo the one that has Kona on one side and something else on the other? I can't remember.
I think you're right. Yeah.
There's a volcano there that is erupting, like right now. We missed it by days. because it's erupting like every 7 days. But we were up there and you could see the steam. You could put your face in the steam of the vents and stuff. And there's a hotel up there that like Mark Twain and Roosevelt and all these different people have stayed at, this old hotel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a national park. Everything's a national park over there pretty much.
It should be. It's all gorgeous. So yeah. Should be preserved.
Yeah, my least favorite thing was the Jurassic Park tour. I was like, this is stupid. And we had a horrible guide.
The sets are still there?
We went to the sets of the one on Oahu. But there are other places they filmed on different islands, too. We were at the place where the stampede happens with Sam and the kids and that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the valley, the big valley where they film Kong Skull Island and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. Anyway, I've got a million stories because we did a ton of shit. But
good.
Talk that much about it.
We'll do one story per episode, please. So that
What have you been doing?
Just finished all the Halloween stuff, had a bunch of events this past week, and did all of that, and then getting ready to light. I've been working on set for it, but I'm going to light a Little Mermaid Junior. Ooh, so exciting. It'll be fun. Bunch of kids.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it
neat? Yeah. I'll be hearing that a lot. And I think I told you I got approached by the Greenville Theater Guild to direct Misery. They wanted to do Misery next year, and they said, would you be interested in directing it? And I went, let me read it. So I've got the script in. I've been reading it and everything else. It's the Goldman script, so it's great. It's the same guy that did the movie, essentially. The same guy that did, what's his big one?
Magic.
He did Magic, yeah, but
He's done a ton of stuff.
He did the Stand By Me adapt, and he did
Shawshank.
No, Lion. What's the play with Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine?
Lion in Winter.
The Lion in Winter. That's it. I keep trying to remember I couldn't remember the name.
Goldman's written everything.
Yeah, he's written a bunch.
A ton of stuff. But okay.
So that might be fun to do. I haven't totally said yes yet, but I'm pretty interested.
But you'll have to have two very strong leads.
Yeah, because it's basically a two-hander except for the sheriff. Because even in the play, his wife isn't in it, his agent isn't in it, none of that. It's basically Annie, Paul, and the sheriff.
And the sheriff gets killed.
Yeah, he only has 3 scenes, and they're all a page.
Yeah.
Pop in, say, hey, what's up? Come back, say, hey, we're still looking. Come back the third time and sees Paul and gets blown away.
Crazy. That would be a fun show, I would think. It would not be that hard, I wouldn't think. I don't know what kind of effects you need as far as violence.
Well, the play is the same as the film in that they do the hobbling, not the cauterizing axe cut thing.
Do they show it or do they cut to black?
Oh, no, that show.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Both of them, both ankles.
Awesome.
So that would be fun. The whole working with Annie and him and all the subtlety that goes into it, and how do you do that subtlety on stage and not in film? In film, you could do the close-up of James Caan's face and say, and you can see in his eyes, oh my God, this bitch is crazy, which is going through the whole novel. I've started reading the novel again too, and from the very first paragraph, he thinks, okay, this bitch is crazy. There's something wrong with this woman. And
Cock-a-doodle.
you can do that in a movie. That's hard to do on stage. It's hard to show that kind of subtlety of distrust or trust or fake out or whatever. So, I don't know. I'm strongly considering it. That's it. Not been touring the world and going to far off islands, doing all of that stuff.
We went to a Costco on almost every island, and we rented a car on 2 islands.
Oh, there you go.
And that was more fun than anything, just driving.
When we were there, we had a rental. We used it a little bit, but then we also rented scooters, the Vespa things, and went around everywhere, especially. But we were only on Maui. We didn't go to the Big Island. We didn't go to Kauai or anywhere else.
The Big Island is where, actually the Big Island's where I went to the volcano that's still erupting. That's Volcano National Park, I'm pretty sure. And then I think it's Hilo that has Kona and something else on it, because we went. No, actually the Big Island has Hilo and maybe Kona on it. I don't know. I'm confused because I get them all mixed up. But we went to 4 islands, and the last one was Kauai.
And I remember driving inland on Maui, and it started stinking really bad. And our guide said that was the pineapple processing plants, that they're horrible. They just smell really horrible. And they did.
They don't have those anymore. There's only
no more
2
pineapples?
small pineapple farms left. One is Dole and one is Maui's Best, and we went to Maui's Best. And they're suffering because everywhere else in the world is doing it cheaper now. And it's a family-owned business. We took 2 of their pineapples home. They told us how we could grow them. They showed us how to actually cut a pineapple. You don't cut the top of it. You twist it off. And then you let it dry. Dennis is fascinated with it. He's got 2. He's ready to plant.
He's ready to plant them now. Let's grow them now in the middle of winter.
He grew some limes, so he's very excited. And we do tomatoes and peppers and stuff every year. So
I do remember the grapefruits in Hawaii being the best grapefruit I've ever had in my life. It was
wow. Well, this was the best pineapple I've ever had. It tastes like nothing I've ever had before.
But yeah, they're mutants. They're
No, I think they're normal. Is what it is.
Probably true. Less chemicals, less greenhouse, everything else. Sure.
And I had a cup of Kona coffee this morning that I ground, and it was unbelievable.
Best coffee. Best coffee. Better than Brazil, Venezuela, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get to X, I listened to my Irish guys there's these 2 Irish guys, and it's called X-Files Revisited, and they do X-Files, and they're very thick in their accents. But they do each season like we do. They usually do 1 or 2 episodes per their episodes. But then at the end of each season, they do their top 5 best episodes of the year and least top worst episodes of the year. I thought that was interesting. And if we're going to round up these 4 years, maybe we pick 5 of the entire of where we are right now.
Did I sent you the rankings? Didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I meant. We could use those, go back and say, oh, this was obviously my top 5 the past 4 years.
I think I had planned to do that with season 3 because I found that, and then I went back and listened to the episode, and we didn't do it. So I was like, I must have done it. And we forgot to do it, so I just went ahead and did one for season 4 as well, and I fixed to do them both.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We probably
like a little recap. A little recap would be good. Yeah. 3, 2,
1.
That's like I said. We went from 2 dogs and 4 cats to 2 cats and 1 dog.
Wow.
In 6 months. So.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Were they all old?
No. Willow, the shepherd, she was only 7.5, and she died of tetanus. Something that the vet says that's virtually impossible. But we talked to 2 different vets, and one of them said the only death from tetanus that he had seen was a horse when he was in veterinary school. He said it's very rare. But then, Chitan was older. Eddie was older. So, yeah.
Well, that sucks. Yeah, Buddy's only 8, and he's the one that we just had his spleen removed.
Yeah.
But he's doing fine, and the cancer thing came back negative.
That's good.
Whenever I yell at him, Dennis says, "But Daddy, I don't have a spleen."
Daddy, I don't have a spleen. Why are you being mean to me?
Why are you being mean to me?
Think of the spleen, lad. Think of the spleen.
And we've still got Hyper Piper, who drives me crazy. I love her to death, but she's psycho puppy.
It's very weird. The other 3 animals, I don't think have adjusted yet. They are acting just so oddly.
Yeah.
Well, especially Eddie. Edward had outlived all of them. He was old or midlife when our now oldest became a part of the family.
Is Edward a cat?
Yeah. Yeah. So because he was 17. So for a cat, he was old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had one that lived almost that old.
But he had survived everything. He had all these animals come, go, and everything.
Are you aware that, remember that show, The Chew?
The Chew?
Yeah.
No.
It followed The View, and it was a talk show focused on cooking.
Okay.
And it had Mario Batali, Michael Simon, Clinton Kelly, and Carla Hall. And it had Daphne Oz, Dr. Oz's daughter, to begin with. Daphne eventually left the show to go have babies. Mario Batali got asked to leave during the Don't
Me Too movement.
Yes, because he got busted for having sexual bad karma with women.
Okay, that's a way to put it.
So it ended up being Clinton Kelly, who was on What Not to Wear. He wasn't really a cook. He was more of a fashion guy. And Michael Simon and Carla Hall. And honestly, they were the heart of that show. And that show kept going for 7 years.
Okay.
Even after the absence of the other two. And then all of a sudden, ABC canceled it. And I was like, this sucks, because I watched that show every day. I always had it on in the background. I could two-screen while I watched it. I got new recipes because Michael Simon's a great cook. And they just have excellent chemistry.
Yeah.
And they've been off the air for 7 years, so it sucked. They have a YouTube show now.
Okay.
And they do it 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. They do an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But honestly, it's not about the food. It's about them. And seeing them together, especially in an atmosphere where they're not censored, is hysterical, because they drop the F-bomb left and right. They talk about sexual positions and different things they would never talk about on ABC.
No, probably not. No. Yeah.
And they're doing it in somebody's apartment kitchen. I don't think it's any of theirs. I think they borrowed or they didn't borrow, but they got one of the guys maybe that worked on the original show, and he's got the camera set up and he's producing it. They do giveaways every day. They're getting sponsors. They've got like All Clad and a few. But I'm noticing that they're on podcast and on YouTube like we are, and you're jumping around still, so I'm thinking my internet's still fucked up. But anyway.
I'll sit still. I won't move, I promise.
Or maybe it's yours. Maybe you got too many windows open. I don't know.
No,
anyway.
I pared down everything.
And they're doing podcast and they're doing YouTube. They're only getting 25,000 views, which to Dennis seems kind of low. But I'm like, they've only been on a month or so, a month and a half. So I'm thinking it'll continue to grow as word of mouth gets out there. I hope they stay on. I don't know if they can afford to. Simon has restaurants everywhere, but he's from the Midwest. Carla is from D.C. via Nashville, but she has a place in New York. And I think Clinton Kelly lives in Connecticut, but he commutes down. So they're all I think the show's filmed in New York. But I'm just glad they're back, and I didn't know if you knew who they were or not. Carla Hall came from Top Chef. She's one of my favorites.
Okay. Yeah, no, some of the names I know just because of my food addiction at times, but no, I didn't recognize any of them.
I watch a lot of food porn.
If I'm bored and vegging, I'll even turn on one of the competition shows, as bad as they are, like Nailed It. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I don't like those, but I like Top Chef. That's as far as I'll go.
Top Chef's good.
Top Chef's great. It's always been a solid show.
I watch them just for the editing and just to go, okay, so they literally had to make 1,000 cupcakes and they had 2 hours to do it. And you're going to cut this down to a 4-minute segment. First of all, I don't think I think they had probably more than 2 hours, or there was a lot of prep done.
Yeah, that doesn't make any
before.
sense.
So I watch stuff like that just to see how bad the scripting is sometimes, or how bad the judges are. Because, oh, that one's trying to be Simon. Oh, this one's trying to be Paula, or Top Chef, or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of those shows, especially maybe not Nailed It or any of those that are shorter and just more fast paced, but the ones that are more weekly and seasonally have the tendency to sometimes fall into the reality drama bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff I don't like, when they start editing someone to look like a bad guy and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Top Chef has gotten away from that. They had it early on, but they don't do that anymore. And they have high profile guests and really cool people, really good cooks on there, basically.
There's one I found now. He's terrible. Oh, I wish I remembered his name. I cannot remember his name right now, but I see his face so clearly. He had not the ridiculousness show, but he had a show on in the 90s that we all watched. He's a comic, but now he's like a Food Network host or a food TV host. And
I think I know who you're talking about. Did he do like a Halloween cookie challenge or Halloween baking? Yeah, we watched it. Yeah.
He has one that's new that I'll watch now just with the sound off, just to watch it, because I'm more interested in the visual than any scripting or story they do. But the title is something like That Can't Be Real or Fake or blah, blah, but it's food recreations of other foods or other things, like a typewriter that's a cake. Oh, This Can't Be Cake, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
And
he was on that show. He was on that show Joel McHale was on too.
Yes.
Dennis pointed it out to me because we were trying to figure out where he came from the other day.
But it's an interesting show just to watch, to see how they literally recreate something and make it look totally real. It looks exactly like a fire extinguisher, but you cut it open and it's cake.
Yeah, it's really weird. The Halloween ones, sometimes it's really gory looking too.
Oh yeah, sometimes the challenges are great and they do good work.
And that is one of my indulgences, as far as the kind of bullshit cooking shows or those Halloween and seasonal ones, the holiday. I like it, but Carla's usually the judge on the cookie ones, and so I get to see Carla there. She's busy, so she must be in New York a lot, because I think most of the Food Network stuff's filmed there.
Yeah, I think almost all of it's shot there.
And she's either a regular judge or a guest judge. She's a guest judge on the Harry Potter one, and then she's a regular judge on a couple of the holiday baking shows, the Halloween and the Christmas one. Cool. And Duff does them too. Duff from the Ace of Cakes.
Yeah.
We know him because he was Baltimore, and Dennis used to live in Baltimore. So we knew of his bakery in Baltimore, and then he got popular with a show called Ace of Cakes.
Oh, yeah. That show was great. That was the 90s.
I don't think it was that long ago. It was maybe in the 2000s. Yeah.
Oh, one last thing before.
Check. I
would ask you to take a couple of hours and listen to, it's a brand new podcast I just found through reference through another podcast called Ancient Geeks. I think they heard our podcast and it just started in January. It's two guys. They're about 4 or 5 years apart. They're our age, and they talk about, it's like they want to use the trend that 30 and Nerdy is using, but they're more like you and me. So they'll talk about, like, their first episode is Get to Know Us, is their first episode. One of their big episodes is Alien. One of their big episodes is Star Trek Wrath of Khan. And they just cover their initial impressions of whatever the topic is when it came out, and then how it's been changed through the years, sort of thing. Geekdom.
What's their name?
I don't know their name. The podcast is called Ancient Geeks. They only have, I think, 10 or 12 episodes.
Yeah, we'll see how they last.
Yeah, I listened to just a couple of them and was going, these guys.
Oh, no. It says they have 42 episodes.
Oh, I didn't.
And they have 7 subscribers.
Yeah. So I was going, okay, these guys obviously listen to us. I just felt like they had heard our podcast and were pseudo mimicking it. Well, maybe not totally, but there's a lot that reminds me of us.
Interesting.
Yeah, except they're not necessarily horror fans. They're both more science fiction.
That reminds me of something that happened to us Monday night.
Yes.
We were on this Hawaiian cruise and we met. So we always meet friends that we've never met before. We make friends with people that are Derek and Romaine listeners. That's the podcast that we listen to that we all have in common with these cruises. And we met, their names are Tony and Michelle. They got married on the cruise. Romaine married them. She's got a license where she can do that. She married them on Kauai, I think. I can't remember what island. Or maybe Kona. But anyway, and she's probably going to hear this. I'm sitting here talking about her. They're a great couple, and we found out they live near us. They live in a neighboring town. So we met in another neighboring town halfway for dinner Monday night. We had Cuban. And as soon as I got there, Tony looked at me and said, "You have created a monster." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they re-aired a Halloween episode on Derek and Romaine where I had called in. They were asking for favorite horror movies. And I called in and talked about Dawn of the Dead, and I mentioned our podcast. And she discovered it because she heard it and she knew us.
Yeah.
And now she's like listening or watching us. I think she said she's doing both. Because she said that Tony got mad because he liked Snowpiercer.
Bring it on, baby.
And I can't remember, she was listening to, she wants to listen to Phantasm. She said that's one of her favorites. And I said, it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had dinner with some people that I've recently befriended that are now listening or watching the show.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Derek talks about this all the time. It's very weird when you talk to people about what you do and then they want to listen to you. Because as soon as someone he lives like next door to says, "Oh, I want to listen to your show," he don't.
What's the name of it? Give him a fake name.
Their show is a little more risque than ours is, unless we're doing bonus episodes or whatever. But
to each their own. It happens.
I had forgotten. I wanted to tell you about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to one that was obviously they were newer at it or whatever, but just their recording quality was worse than what you and I had that first year.
Ooh.
And they cussed the entire time. They would belch. They would do. I was just going, okay, you guys need to edit all this.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. 3, 2,
1.
You can't start the car. Johnny has